All right, we're ready.
Okay, we'll go back in session.
Okay, so I saw the balance sheet. We left off talking about the balance sheet of the Economic Development Revolving Fund. And we got due from other funds of almost 1.3 million. Do you know what the breakdown of that is? Is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I have a
All right, you know, we don't have to do that today.
Okay.
Because that is not going to impact this budget. But I think, before we get back together, we need to know what that is. And the only reason I ask that question is because another thing that's going on is the chamber is strongly they're considering doing a spec building project for industrial recruitment. And we might need to use some of this money as an upfront, you know, with the idea it's going to be paid back to us. So I'm just trying to, and then it looks like we're going to have to use some more of it to do this airport project on top of that.
If you want to look at it, I've got it up on my screen. I can share it right now, or if you want to look at it, it's in.
Go ahead. I'll take some quick notes.
Okay. All right. So this is the due from schedule for all interfund loans. So economic development revolving is right there. So that includes the 2 transfers, one from last fiscal year and one this year. So
the sewer fund owes us 600,000.
Yes.
I mean, we only got 1,289,000 on the books. So I'm just trying to figure
that is what I want to. So when I pulled this up, because if you'll notice some of these, like this right here, which I think I feel confident these are probably still owed because the sewer fund hasn't had the money to repay those loans. But I want to verify that these have not been repaid right here. But I know that has been repaid. That was paid in full.
Okay, so if you just did the Economic Development Revolving Fund, what is that total? Highlight those.
Economic development.
Yeah, highlight those 5. Yeah, highlight those 5.
Well, this one has not been posted yet. That last one, the 2590, that's the one that is in the budget for 24.
All right, here's where I'm getting confused. You got $1,469,000 right there, and on your balance sheet of the Economic Development Revolving Fund, it's only $1,289,000.
Right.
So it's $180,000 difference.
Right. So that's what.
It may be that money. It may be that money above.
But see, that's from.
No.
The
one. Yes.
That's all been repaid.
Oh, okay.
All
right.
And unless, so here's the thing, unless these payments were not posted correctly.
Yeah, something is wrong. That's right. That's what we got to. All I'm saying, we got to figure out what makes up that $1,289,000. We don't have to do it today, Michelle.
Yeah, that's why I put a note here that this was paid in full, because I wanted to look at how these payments were posted.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Wow.
Great. Okay. So we have we do
You can go to the general fund now.
You want to go straight to the general fund?
Well, I mean, the on two you got left is general fund and the sewer fund.
Park fund.
General fund and park. You can do parks first.
Okay. And public improvement bond fund.
Okay.
You sound so excited. All right. So this is the high level of the park fund. This is the projected fund balance.
We're still looking at another screen.
Oh. Hang on, sorry. Now can you see me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yeah, I can see that too.
All right. This is the high level of the park fund for fiscal year 24 after everything is posted, as far as projections. Revenue. There's only, you have your your taxes that you
Right.
post at the all level, and then you have your revenue that let's get that screen in there. You have your revenue from recreation, which is
It's
donations and and then small amounts from all the
what is
sports.
what's under miscellaneous revenue? Go back to that. That was a lot of money there. 120 something thousand.
It's a summary of all these.
I got you. I got you. Okay, I see that now.
Right.
All right.
Mhm.
Thank you. Okay.
You're welcome.
All right.
So that it's just a different, all the different recreational activities, and then you have your tournament revenue.
Okay, so we're transferring. This only works if we transfer 435,000 out of the general fund into it.
And you still have a $35,000 shortfall.
Okay. Did he have any operational increases?
Let's look. So
looks like about
let's look high level.
about 40,000.
Okay. Do you want to look and see where those are?
Well, I mean, he's got about $40,000 worth of increases. If they spread out over 40 accounts, it's a
right
moot point.
That 70% of it's in supplies.
70% of the increase?
Yes. See, he put in a request. Some of his, if you recall, like we didn't put any requests for him in basically in the bond fund. There were a couple of small requests that he had that I did go on and put because they were so small. So removing the fencing at Park School was just $1,400. So I put that in at building and ground repair.
First off, I would pull that out. And let me tell you why.
Okay.
In the bond fund, we're going to end up doing park improvements. Okay. I don't know how much money it's going to be. It could be $200,000 or $300,000. Let's put all park improvements in there, including little stuff like this.
Okay.
Well, we discussed with Jason this afternoon that I guess it'll be in the Dropbox about the possibility of the
turf. Yeah.
It's in capital. It's in I have a list in the bond fund.
She has all
those
that
items.
She has all that, Mayor. And all I'm saying is all this little stuff, it's all going to come under park improvements. And we got to take as much relief out of our current budget as we can, because it's a stretch every year. Even that $10,000 number you got, Michelle.
Well, that's his standard.
Take it out.
That's his standard request. Just take it out.
Take it out. We're struggling. We're struggling even putting 435,000 in this fund.
Okay, so this this request was something that we talked about that you said, so do you want me to reduce it?
That, we're gonna bond, we'll figure out a way to bond that also.
Okay,
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, because that is part of that, that's part of that major project that we did. Okay, now go back and look at your total now. Okay. We
The
still,
only-
we're
I'm
still
sorry.
spending $90,000 more, but we end up with a positive fund balance. Right?
Yes, and the only other increase that was added was his annual tree trimming, which was $25,000. He put in a request for tree trimming up in the parks. Like, because like it increases like landfill, having to take stuff to the landfill.
We need to chop it up and sell it as firewood and make money on it.
but no.
We can't even do that, Mayor. If we did, we'd be competing with people who sell firewood, and then we'd get sued.
Well, no doubt. And,
Yeah,
kind of like the trash bags we did for years. You can't do that.
that's
Right.
right.
His trees and landscape budget was $900 before, so this year it's 25,000.
He's got that.
You know,
that
so
many, he's got that many trees to trim.
It's bad.
Where?
All the parks.
Absy Moore has really got a lot of overgrown
Yeah.
trees.
Right.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I forget about that one. There's a
Yeah.
lot of trees over there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Think about it.
Okay. Moving along.
Right.
Final.
All right.
His biggest concern is going to come in capital projects.
Yeah.
Mayor, we need to, when this is over with, we need to do a special study of the parks.
No doubt, because we the water, we've talked about putting dirt out for 2 decades, I know.
I know, but
Yeah,
we need to do a special study, and we need a 10-year plan for those parks. You know, we got lucky because before my time, some of y'all's time, or most of our time, somebody was smart 40 years ago and built Bearpin Park.
Uh-huh.
And we were ahead of the curve. Now we're behind.
Yeah, sir, you're right.
And that's why we're not getting all of this activity that other cities are. I mean, even Winona gets more stuff than we do.
They do. They're somewhat of a crossroad, but we need to get our facilities brought up to date and in good shape. And I promise you, once we get them here, we'll keep them here.
Yeah, because I mean, we've got the accommodations, we've got hotels and restaurants that other people don't have, and we're not getting the activity. Okay.
Right.
All right.
So-
This is the general fund, but what else do we got besides this?
What, the bond fund?
Yeah, go to the bond fund first.
We still haven't done general obligation, bond and interest, and bond utility.
Do bond and interest first. Because I looked at this the other day and that bothered me a little bit. We were 100,000 off.
We were, but
Where is? Can you pull up your bond schedule?
sure.
I know it showed up in the Dropbox this morning, but I didn't have time to look at it.
That's all right. That was on me.
I figured you did that to put some stress on us.
All right. You should be able to see it now.
Okay.
All
So,
So this is the tab that does not include, which we don't have Baxter bond anymore, but it does not include the utility the general obligation utility bond. So this is just the general obligation bond.
Okay,
Okay.
so what is our assessed valuation now? What does this 10 to 15% rule look like right now?
So you,
You know what I'm talking about?
the assessed value on our tax schedule?
Well, no, do you have, like, in your audit report,
Oh,
he has a calculation of your legal lending limit.
yeah. And
Okay.
I don't have that yet.
Okay, so if you show me what our assessed values are, then I can figure it out
Okay.
without it.
He will be at the August 22nd meeting, FYI, to present. So.
What will be at the August 22nd meeting, Michelle?
Bridgers,
Oh, good.
hang on.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so 24 taxes, where assessed values are what? 120 million?
Well, yeah, after you take out your school and homestead exemption, 120.
Yeah, we get the whole thing though. We get the 129 for that calculation. So just somewhere off to the right where you don't mess nothing up. Is that an active schedule? Can you enable it?
It is. Mhm.
Okay. All right. Somewhere off to the right, come down where you can see, where are your total assessed valuations? 129 million. Okay.
129.
So right there to the right where you are. Just say 15% times that figure. Okay, so our legal lending limit is $19 million. That's what I was trying to figure out with your bond schedule.
Okay.
So to answer your question earlier, Mayor, you asked the question, what is how much money can we do bond?
Right.
We can't go beyond 19 million based on state law.
We don't need to do that.
No, but I'm looking at it in terms, and now go back to your other schedule, Michelle, that you were at. We're at 11.4 right now. That's the point I'm trying to make. All right.
Gotcha.
All right. So, yeah.
But then you have to add that includes your general obligation utility bond right here.
Yeah, but that's a 20% rule.
Okay, gotcha.
Isn't it a 15 and a 20 rule?
Yeah.
I think
so.
that's what it is. I think the rule is 15% GO bonds, 20% everything. Okay. So if you did the 20% rule, Michelle, where your limits over, like 24 million.
We don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. See, 20, almost 26.
That's a bad thing.
So we're good. I just want to make sure.
All right.
That's the last thing we want is our auditor coming in saying you can't borrow you can't borrow no more money.
Right.
Right.
All right, but our debt service for 24 is $2,008,000. Right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Okay. All right. Now you can go back to ClearGov. It's not on our screen yet, Michelle.
Oh. See, I keep forgetting to change.
Well, I know, but you got two screens. We're looking at one.
Y'all need to have two screens like I do.
Well, I've got two screens, but you ain't showing me but one.
All right. Can you
Okay,
see now?
so yeah, so our expenditures just to pay debt was $2,008,000, and you got 39 in this. That must be legal fees.
Yes, you have tax collection fee and
Uh,
something
uh,
else.
bond counsel.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right, and we're only
Hey,
gonna collect, and we're only gonna collect $1.8 million in taxes. How did that happen? I thought we did enough a few years ago to make. You still got that tax schedule open?
I do.
Okay, so our bond and interest fund generates 1.8. 22, the 23 roll is 14. So. How close do we come? Those 2% uncollectibles, do we really end up missing that much?
Yes. We fall short. You can look right here. Let me change my screen back. So budgeted last year, 1.8. And this is just projected. We don't have it yet. Everything is projected 1.7. I mean, we don't ever collect everything that's budgeted. And that's why you have a shortfall in this fund. In fiscal year 23, we're projected to have a deficit of 165,000. And that's just flowing forward to fiscal year 24.
But I thought our assessments had gone up with all the new development in Cleveland. I thought we had enough to cover that.
You would think.
Well, I mean, I just can't see how our tax revenues have gone down. I mean, Mayor, what this means, we'd have to go up 2 mills just to cover our bonded debt.
Oh my goodness.
Isn't that right, Michelle?
Yes, sir.
Because 2 mills.
Yeah, because one won't cover it.
No, one won't cover. 2 mills will generate about 260,000.
Right.
Yeah.
If you do one, you're still going to have a shortfall.
Okay.
Now, you're going to have with all the, new, you've got Double Quick and McAllister's, you've got some pretty big businesses coming in. So you should see some increases.
Yeah, but we've had, I mean, if you look at the tax roll, that thing Billy gives us last year and this, he's got $14 million in new stuff this year.
Yeah, but it's not on your tax roll yet.
I understand. But we had this happen last year also, though. How much did our theft values go up last year?
Let's see. Let me pull the
on Will's report. That I saw that report, and that I swear that thing just didn't look right.
It didn't change much from last year.
That's my whole point. It did not look right.
It didn't change much from last year at all. Very, very little. Very little. Assessed values, there was hardly any change.
And Mayor, didn't we go up in like construction a year ago?
Oh yeah.
That's what I don't understand why that didn't get added to the tax roll, Michelle.
Well, maybe it's a timing issue. I mean, I can't say for sure, but like I'm just thinking projects have to be completed and then maybe there's a timing issue with when it
All
gets
right,
on the tax roll.
where is Will's letter? That he normally sends us a letter that shows
does.
us the
He
tax assessments and
Yep,
the changes.
right here. Yeah, can you see it?
All right, so he's showing, so total assessed value 129. And assessed value is 15% of the total true value. So he said so he's saying 2023 true value additions is 3.6 million. That don't even sound right.
And hang on
That's
just
my
a
whole
second.
point.
Yeah, hang on just a second. Let me show you something else. All right, so you got that number in your head?
Yeah.
This is from 23.
This is what?
This is the letter from 23, from fiscal year 23.
Okay, come down. So we went up $7 million. And he's saying going into next year, we only went up 3 million.
3. Mhm.
That doesn't sound right. Oh,
When and Michelle, all I'm thinking about is Billy Trotter shows us increase in construction based on building permits,
Right,
right?
that's true. Mhm.
His numbers are much higher than that.
That's right.
So $7 million increase is
And
What
that
did
was
that-
that was last year. That was, you know, what we recognized last year.
yeah. I mean, I'm trying to figure out what that equated to, an increase in taxes. And we were okay with our bonded debt service last year. I just don't understand how we got 200.
Well, we still had a shortfall. That's what I'm saying. We had
We
a
had a shortfall.
we have a shortfall this year,
Okay.
165,000. It's the same shortfall. Essentially, the shortfall this year is rolling forward. I mean, for next year is rolling forward from this fiscal year.
We're just running out of fund balance is what the problem is.
Correct.
yeah.
Okay. I think if we go up 1 mil, we can cover it because the new additions are going to come in and it'll
catch up.
Yeah, but we can't budget a deficit though, Michelle.
You sure can.
It's illegal.
By state law.
That's right. But because the fund balance and the year projection both are in deficit.
That's right. Okay. All right. I guess we got to, in the back of our mind, have a 2 mil increase there, at least for now.
Okay. So I'm gonna leave that one open. We'll come back to it.
Okay.
General obligation utility.
Got no choice.
All right, hang on just a second.
What are we on? General obligation utility?
Yeah, give me just a minute.
Is this SRF?
No, this is our, so we did
Oh,
actually
this
two
is the
different
bond.
bonds for the
This is the bond when
meters.
we bought those extra meters.
Correct. Mhm.
Okay.
So it's pretty simple.
Yeah, we're collecting enough to take care of it.
We are. Mhm.
Okay. All
Do you
right.
need to look at that?
No.
Okay.
That's your final answer.
Yes. Okay. Let's see what else we have.
Public Improvement Bond Fund.
All right. So,
How can we be short here?
well, there's no revenue entered for this year yet because I don't know what the bond amount's gonna be.
But I know it, but this is the old projects in there. Did you put new projects in?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yes,
So we're
sir.
okay. We're okay then.
Yes, sir.
All right. So
And-
basically, to sum this up for y'all, what happens is as we bond projects, she puts the project in this fund and she budgets all the expenditures. And so we have our bond money in there and it's just utilized to pay those expenditures. And now she's showing you there's a list actually going all the way back to 2011, but these all used to be separate funds, Mayor, back in the Wayne Code.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember.
And the crazy part about it, Michelle, before your time, not only was it a separate fund, they had a separate bank account for every one of them.
Oh, that's insane.
So when I used to do the audit report back in the 80s, and they would have like 30 bank accounts. It was insane.
All right, so the only things that I have in here right now are the things that we knew were going to be necessary, and obviously any of it can be edited, but this was the match money for the projects. Like we have ARPA projects that require match money. We have some MDOT projects we've received, grant funds for projects that it requires match money. So those projects are all in here.
It's like all these sidewalk projects and everything.
So I do have the street improvement project in here. We talked about doing a transfer in here for that. Keep in mind, this is the expenditure side. So this is actually the construction and engineering side of that that you're looking at. Then let's see.
But the $12 million you have in revenue is known revenues other than our new bond money.
Correct. So
Okay.
because you put these projects in here, you have to put the grant match in here.
That's right. Okay.
Let's see. I don't think I put the fire truck in here because I wasn't sure what you were going to want to do as far as an amount on the fire truck.
Well, we can't.
Right.
We're not going to budget the expenditure, so all we're going to be putting in there is the revenue. You're not budgeting the expenditure unless you are budgeting a transfer to the fire protection fund.
Right. That's what you would budget.
Okay,
The
then
transfer.
that's fine. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Well, we'll come back to that when we do capital projects because everybody needs to see what that looks like. It's pretty disgusting.
Oh, okay. Do you want to look at that list?
No, let's go to the general fund. Let's go on and bite the bullet.
Okay. All right. Let me ask you this question. It's almost 11 o'clock. We're at the general fund. I sent the email with the schedules for the department heads. I sent 2 schedules, one to start this afternoon and then one to start in the morning. Do you want to start with them this afternoon or do you want to start in the morning?
Okay, I have a feeling that we're going to get 90% or more through the general fund before 12 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay, we may even finish the general fund before 12 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say yes to starting this afternoon.
I
I
would
think
too.
I have the schedule starting at 2 o'clock, not
That-
1 o'clock, so we would
that's-
have a little time after lunch.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Okay,
Yes, so put them on notice to be
Okay.
ready at 2 o'clock.
Ashley, would you send an email out? I believe I copied you on the schedule that I sent out. Would you send that out? Just reply all to that and tell them that we're gonna start at 2 o'clock today.
Yes, but this schedule starts at 1 with
It was,
Josh.
is it at 1? Okay,
With
I was
who?
thinking
With
I
who?
did too. Josh.
start-
Josh.
Okay. I mean, we can still do it at 1. I mean, because we're going to have to come back and summarize.
Okay.
So
Oh,
if
that's
we
why I
have,
did it at 1, so we would have time after.
that's fine. That's
to do
fine.
it.
Yeah, let
Okay.
Josh start at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay.
If I started it at 2, we weren't gonna finish till like 4:30, and I wanted us to have time
Okay.
after.
So Billy, with y'all sitting in the boardroom, can y'all see this screen?
Yes.
Somewhat, you know, that's some
Okay.
wording that may look a little blurry, but other than that, we can see the numbers pretty clear.
Okay. All right. So she's in the general fund now, and I'm just going to point this out before we get started because this happens every year. And I used to panic when I saw this, but then I realized we never really get to these numbers. So the general fund right now, we're starting out with a $730,000 deficit.
But Gary, I don't know if you noticed, the fund balance is 3 million.
I don't never want to look at that number because the last thing you want to see is that fund balance anything close to zero.
Okay,
We're one of the few cities in Mississippi that can say we have a $730,000 deficit and we still have a positive fund balance.
right.
And we don't ever need that to change.
Okay. I was just making sure that you saw that I wanted to make sure that you noticed that it was just this year that was in a deficit. So,
Well, even for those people listening to us on YouTube, if you spend that $300,000 balance and you have an ice storm problem,
oh no, that's right.
you're in the hole in about
No.
3 months.
That's right. It's got to be there.
We have an
Oh,
$11 million budget. So basically, from the standpoint of the city of Cleveland, it takes us $1 million a month to function.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's if nothing goes wrong.
That's right.
Yeah.
So $3 million ain't squat.
No. Mm-mm.
Okay. All right. So now we need to go into departmental budgets.
Okay. All right. Do you want to look at revenues or where do you want to start, revenues or
Well,
expenditures?
just look at the revenues real quick, just to make sure we hadn't overlooked something.
All right.
There's not a whole lot we can do with this.
Well,
All
no,
right, so
because
that-
you're,
The ad valorem taxes we already talked about.
mhm.
I really want to talk to Will at some point to make sure we're getting everything we should out of this thing.
So, privilege tax, we budget for 50,000. Looks like this year we're projected to be a little more than that. I stayed with our current budget because you just don't ever know. Just because we're projecting that, it doesn't.
But
mean
isn't
for sure.
privilege tax based on open businesses?
It it's based on open businesses that actually apply and pay for their privilege license.
Why wouldn't they pay?
You
My
would be-
point is, Michelle, that number should never go down.
It does. I didn't decrease it. That's
make
what
it-
we budgeted is 50,000.
And we'll make it at least 60, because
Okay.
I mean, by
By
law, if these people are in business, they should not go down.
No, but
Right.
Okay, amusement machines, we can skip that one. Fines and forfeits, that's a shot in the dark. What's that? Damages and
damages, and so that has to
delinquent
do.
taxes. Sure, I
some-
know.
Yes.
All right,
Mhm.
court fines. Okay, that's okay. Privilege license. Why we got privilege licenses again?
that has to do with, when the way it's collected, and when it's posted.
But that must be some other type of privilege license.
It is.
Is that a city license? And the other one was a share of a county? Yeah,
Yes.
privilege, yeah,
Yes.
okay, that was a county one. Okay, so
Yeah.
the other one is city, okay.
So let me change that. Well, no, I'm gonna leave it 60.
Yeah, okay there. All right, so the other privilege license must be city.
It is.
And-
This one is the city that
Yeah,
we send out.
okay, building permits, okay.
And why do we vote?
I'm sorry. So right here, I didn't know if you wanted me to change that.
Well, I
It looks
mean,
like we're-
building permits are, we have no control over that.
No,
It's just
mm-mm.
whoever's doing it. They just happen to be up this year because we got a lot of construction going on.
Okay, I left it at what it was
That's
before.
fine. Inspection fees, that's probably okay. The franchise fees, nothing we can do about. But is it gonna be 518?
It's projected to be 518.
What did we get? What did we actually collect? What did we actually collect a year ago?
I can look.
Because that shouldn't go down at all.
Ashley, would you look real quick? Oh, hang on, I've got it pulled up. Hmm.
You can go down and look at some other stuff while she's looking.
Which one did you say, Michelle?
Franchise fees.
Okay. Okay, look.
Yeah, just see what it was actual in the last fiscal year.
It was 416,791 in 22.
She said 400.
416.
Okay, all right.
So 418 might be about, I don't know why we're projecting 518 unless there's,
Me either. Yep. Okay. You're gonna still be around 420 next year if you want to change it. Then it shouldn't go down because
Yeah.
we got theirs is based on their activity here. And I can't see it going down. Okay, so municipal aid, gas tax, federal grants, okay, all of that's good. SRO reimbursement. Is that based on the agreement?
So that's based on, it's based on the agreement and then it's based on the actual payroll.
Got it. Okay, we have nothing else there. Other state revenues. Nothing.
I've decreased this because we haven't come close to that budgeted amount for cemetery lots. I did check into, what some other cities were charging for cemetery lots and open and close fees. We are a little low. If y'all wanted to at some point look at maybe reassessing those fees.
We ought to be in line with everybody else anyway.
Right. I called several cities. So I can do a summary and we can look at those if y'all want to.
I think we should.
Okay,
Just for weekend service, be a little more
Yeah.
for weekend.
But we're talking about the sale of lots.
and the open and close fees also,
Open and close for the weekend.
right? I'll put together a summary and
Okay.
bring that to y'all.
Hmm.
Okay. This is the same administrative charge from sewer utility and the sanitation, administrative charge from sanitation. And then, of course,
That's sales tax.
this is the transfer
Sales-
from sewer utility fund
Sales tax.
for the SRF
Mhm.
payment.
That payment went up again, right?
It went up for the
Right.
phase two.
Like 98,000,
Um,
98,000 a month.
so the total payment is 106,000 now.
Okay.
So,
All right.
Good here.
Is that the end of revenue?
It's the end of revenue.
Okay.
Go to expenditures.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right. We'll start with all departments. This is just the tax collection fee that's part of property taxes. Transfer out. I think that is that the part?
Park
Yeah,
commission,
that's the part, and the health insurance trust fund, that's for the life insurance.
correct.
Supervision and finance. I think there wasn't any big change other than,
Okay, there, at least up to this point, you don't have anything in here for payroll adjustments.
no,
Okay,
sir.
okay, I just want to make that clear. Okay, go ahead.
Everything is based on current year salaries. So you may see a change from, a prior year or what was budgeted, but it's because of changes in, personnel or, who was hired or whatever, but
Got it.
it's current year salaries. Do you want to expand these and look at what we've got? So we've got,
No, what I want you to do is,
if there's an increase,
yeah, what I want you to do is just look at changes in these line items by department.
all right. So,
All right, so you got a contractual service change of 9%.
mhm.
What is that?
It is more than likely, Bridgers went up,
Okay,
on the audit, $3,000.
yeah,
Let's see. Across the board, you're going to see in every department, an increase on our insurance expense, the different insurance in each department, building, general liability, professional, vehicle, every single insurance. You're going to see an increase. And we actually recognize that increase this fiscal year. So what we budgeted for when we received the policies, there was an increase on our policy. So we recognized an increase in fiscal year 23. So we budgeted for that in fiscal year 24. We likely may see another one, but we budgeted for what we recognized in 23 and tried to bump it a little bit. Insurance just went up. And they actually had a hard time finding somebody to write, some of the different stuff, just because I think insurance has gotten so competitive.
But if it's gotten competitive, you'd think it would go down.
Well,
Right.
I guess
Something else. Ain't going down.
not really
Man, they're
competitive,
bad.
like I guess that's not the right word.
But the kind
Um,
of charges that's being
Hard
provided.
to, like, companies aren't writing like they used to, I guess. I don't know.
So I guess the deal is really there are just limited places to go to
Yes.
find insurance for
Limited.
municipalities.
Limited is the word that I was looking for.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And
we got a letter. Last
Who-
week
who
that
who's doing? Is South Group still putting together
Yes.
the major stuff? Okay.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
who did you meet with? Did you meet with Ned or with?
we meet with Ned and Kim.
Okay.
Mhm. And that meeting will be coming up for our renewals in the next probably month.
Wow.
Mhm.
I mean, it's becoming such a major cost
It is.
in all of our. So is all of our insurance costs covered under supervision and finance?
No, it's spread throughout several funds.
But everything in the general fund is in this category.
Yes.
In other
Well,
words-
no, you have a little bit, that's posted to, fire department. You have some other funds that are touched. The bulk of it is supervision and finance.
Okay.
Mhm.
I guess I have to say this because of our fiduciary responsibility. It is becoming a major part of our budget cost.
Mhm.
Is it time to have a third party evaluation?
We can.
I mean, this is,
Oh, yeah,
if
I
you
think
add
you're
it,
right, Gary.
I know it, Mayor, if you add up all of our insurance cost, I mean, our budget's $11 million, but I bet we're spending close to 750 or $1 million in insurance.
I would say so too.
Right.
You know,
I think the last time we did, when was that, Mayor? We had,
It was 2 years ago, two or
2
three, we
years.
had MMS give us a
we did.
bid.
That's right.
who did the MML?
MMS, Mississippi Municipal Service, where we have our
Services.
liability insurance now, and you were part of it, Gary. I
Yeah.
think it was 3 years ago. And
Yeah.
it helped somewhat, if you remember.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, and I know they don't have the local people don't have a lot of control over this, but man, it is just really, I mean, just workers' comp alone in this fund is 165,000.
Yeah,
Yep.
and they don't have our workers' comp,
Who doesn't? South Group?
South Group. Mm-mm.
Oh,
MMS does.
That's right.
okay.
Mhm.
Wow, man. Okay,
Mhm.
all right, go on down.
Um, All right. Let me see. Okay. Supplies, it's up like 5%. Let's see. Trying to look for the increase. That's up 5%. Oh, computer program maintenance. So right here.
Who's doing that?
So this is actually not, this is multiple, programs that are,
Okay, so those are just,
this is not a
Those are just renewal fees.
renewals on annual subscriptions.
Okay, all right,
That's right.
all right.
That's what that is.
That's the cost of doing business.
Right. That's the only thing that I see in there. Several things went down.
Okay. You got a little capital outlay. What is that?
It's just a, computer and office equipment. We plug a
Okay.
number in there in case there's
Okay.
anything come up through the year.
Okay,
And I actually reduced it some. We had
Okay.
$4,600.
all right.
See, what was other general? 4.4. So this is other general expenditures for out of supervision and finance.
Well, street lights.
You're gonna see across the board utilities. Streetlights is one of them.
Man,
That it is way up across the board. Our utilities, way up.
We talking about adding more lights.
So it's 22.
Right.
So I increased this budget because we had budgeted $216,000 for street lighting and projected to be closer to 250. That's an estimate based on bills, but could be 248, 250. I mean, I budgeted next year for 248 because you really don't know what the billing is going to be like next year, but that's what I budgeted for. This computer service and maintenance, that is that's what you're talking about.
yeah,
That's not all of that, but part of that is the agreement with Key Solutions. That's who does that. Now we had talked before about getting a you had mentioned somebody else maybe.
well, I mean, there are other people that do
Mhm.
it. I just didn't know, is that on an as needed basis?
So we have a contract with them and they service the entire city, and we just call them and they just come take care of whatever's needed.
Okay.
Mhm. And they send somebody by this year. They've been sending somebody by City Hall and I think other departments pretty much on Fridays to check in and see if we
Okay.
needed anything.
I mean, y'all been satisfied?
We have been.
Okay.
And this year, they kind of been proactive with letting us know. I'll go ahead and give y'all a heads up. We have 3 servers within the city that go out of service in October. They no longer will be available for update. So at the board meeting next week, I'll be putting in a request for approval for those
Is that in
on
your
this
budget?
year.
Is that in your 22, 23 budget?
Well, with budget amendments, I have found I'll be able to do budget amendments. It's one at the police department, one at community development, and one at City Hall.
Or a place.
But they all go out early October, and
Yeah,
they're like that 8-week delivery.
Yeah, you better get that taken care of because
So
you can't afford to lose your data.
none
That's
of
crazy.
those offices can be down. So we've got to get those ordered. So I'll be putting that.
Well,
request in.
look, we're actually in active meeting right now. I don't think you need to wait.
Mhm. Okay.
I make a motion that you go on and make provisions for getting those servers replaced.
Gary made the motion.
Second.
Ted second. All in favor, say aye. Okay, any opposed? Okay,
I have a question.
okay.
What's, Michelle, do we know what's the projected price for those new servers?
Yes, ma'am. The PD is 9,000. City Hall is 7,000. Community Development is 6,900. They're,
Okay.
So,
and I have looked at the budget and very easily can do a budget amendment for the PD and City Hall. I had to meet with Billy on what was available in one of his line items before knowing if I could do the budget amendment for community development and keep it within the current budget without having to increase, and he was fine. He told me where I could get it from, and so no increase is needed in any of the three budgets.
Oh, great.
Good.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks, Michelle.
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. You need to go on and get them ordered because you cannot take a chance on them things going down.
Okay.
All
All
right,
right,
moving right along.
okay. Supplies didn't change. Grants. Didn't change. Capital outlay went down. I don't know if there's anything in there. So this capital outlay in other general expenditures, this is where we have our lease payments budgeted. So, you know, the city has a citywide lease computer replacement program that we do on leases every 3 years. So that's what's budgeted right here. That's our lease payments on our computers.
When does that come up for renewal?
We just got new ones this past year.
Okay.
I mean, in 23, we just
Okay.
replaced them all.
All right. Okay.
Right. Community development. Let's see.
Community development, he's only up 1.63%,
Right.
moved to something else.
Okay. Right.
What is,
Let me
no, he's
close
got
some-
nothing. Yeah, there was just a small
Let me
count.
close some of these up so I can get scrolled up more.
Airport went down 1.52%.
Correct.
No point in wasting our time on that one. We just need, I know we got public safety is gonna probably be an issue.
This is,
Engineering, what's going on
that's,
there?
that's just his miscellaneous on-call. That's Josh's miscellaneous on-call engineering budget for engineering fees.
But his projected for the last year is just 85.
It is, but they put in 140 last year, and this year he put in 150. That's his request.
But he didn't use but 85.
Well, he didn't, but his budget request for this year is 150.
Is there a rationale for that?
You can ask him in the meeting. That's
No,
what's
I
in-
know maybe you know
that's
how
what-
they have,
I
you know how
don't.
they have
That's-
comments on the side.
I don't. That's what, I mean, I
I
don't know
think-
what his,
My gut feeling would be to leave it where it is because we've got so many new projects coming in this year. They're
Right.
gonna more than make up for it in all these new projects.
With
Right.
all the ARPA and everything that's fixing to happen,
I know we got $12 million worth of projects, Mayor.
well,
Right.
the helicopter money and all is gonna
Yeah.
be here, and it's gonna be one time. I can see it maybe going down at some point, but
Yeah. Leave it at 140.
the 140 or the 150 that you requested?
Whatever it was last
150.
time.
Oh, last time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just can't see an increase and he ain't used what he got.
Okay.
yeah, we hope it stay that way. But
Yeah.
he is really outstanding for us, y'all.
Oh, I mean, he's awesome, but that just doesn't even make
Good job.
financial
Oh, yeah.
sense. Okay, so municipal court has gone up almost 17%. That would be a good one to look at.
All right. So the bulk of the increase is in contractual
Oh, hell,
services.
jail services,
Yeah.
jail fees.
Jail fees.
Mm-hmm.
What the heck is going on?
Well, so
They're locking up more people.
it was budgeted in 23 for $35,000. They
Yeah,
are on target to
Yeah,
hit $110,000 with their current jail fees.
are they just locking up more people or are we
They
being
are.
charged more?
No, they're locking up more people.
Well,
That the
that's-
fees haven't
People
gone
getting
up.
out.
Well, that's something that needs to be looked at and see if these people sitting out there in jail or they should be going to court and how can we better get them in before a judge, you know? Some is going on out there.
They lock them up, but they getting right out.
Well, let me ask you
Yeah,
a
I
question.
don't-
So when you're locking
They should
people
pretty
up,
quick.
when we're locking folks up, shouldn't fines be going up?
Well, people have to pay the fines. I think they get assessed fines, but then you have to collect them. I mean, they have to pay them.
Eric, one of the things that could come from having people locked up is medical costs too. You pay their medical when you got them locked up, so you
And
have,
that's on the jail fee.
Yeah.
Yeah. And who we paying the jail fees to? The county?
No, it's, yeah, it is.
It goes to the
Well,
county
okay.
unless they
is.
get bound
It-
over to the state.
It is.
Hey, well, look, if they
And
can charge,
Vanessa,
if they can charge us for a jail fee, why can't we charge them an animal fee? You know, if we were getting paid every time they put a county dog in the shelter.
and I will say, I'm gonna have to brag on Vanessa. She is very diligent with going through that bill, and she has to send it back almost every month because it'll come in with inmates on there that are not from the city, and it has to be corrected and rebilled. But she is diligent with going through it and making sure we're not billed incorrectly, and she gets it corrected, and she's diligent about it. And so I wanted to brag on her and make sure that y'all know that she's doing her due diligence to make sure that we're billed correctly.
Yeah, that's good. And we'll talk about it a little bit more, I guess, when Dudley gets in, because a lot of times when people exit out the jails, other times when they're still on the books out there as being there and they're not there. So.
Yeah. Good point. No, that's just a hell of a bite.
Mhm.
So that 185% increase there pretty much summed it up.
Right.
All right, go to the PD.
State, jail fee out of this world.
Yeah.
Goodness.
So police department, of course, you know, the one thing that's happening here is he's filling so many positions.
Yeah, that's why you see the increase on personnel. It's not because of
Right. He's got-
raises, it's because of positions.
that have been filled, yes.
Which is
And,
good.
We
Oh,
took
yeah.
those
Which is a good
positions
thing.
out. You know, at the end, at budget last year, we took positions out and he's filled those positions and they've been added back. So he's basically, if not fully staffed, right at it. So.
yeah, but I mean, it's good. I mean, he's getting to
Right.
where, but that used to, up until just recently, that used to be a little bit of a windfall for us because those vacancies never got filled. And so
That's
we
right.
had that cushion.
That's right.
All right. We'll look at supplies for a second. They're up pretty good.
Let's see.
That ain't much. Going
Yeah.
down.
I think it's just proportionately it's not large dollar amounts, it's just proportionately.
Computer program maintenance. You know, I'm just sitting here looking at, we've had a bunch of computer lines since we've been looking at this thing, and
Well, so
this number is getting substantial.
well, this is for his, this is his body, like the body cameras, dash
this is-
cameras, all that,
Okay.
all that.
All right. Yeah, that was part of a lease.
Yeah, that's right. Let's see what else. And like computer supplies is up, but it's $500. I mean, it looks like a large increase. Uniforms is up, but he put a note in here. It said it usually costs an average of $1,200 to outfit an officer, and they're in need of new winter jackets, and clothing allowance should be given to investigators per state statute. He said it's very important to him that all his officers look uniform and professional, and so that's one reason why he wanted to increase that budget to get them what they needed.
Okay.
I think he looks like he might have put a quote in there. Oh no, that's the statute about the clothing allowance. Let's see. Lab supplies and repairs. And the crime lab bill, I believe that's gone up to $60 per submission. So, and the crime lab is behind on submissions. So they're just now paying for like submissions from 2022. So they have a lot of submissions at the crime lab. So their bills are going to be up. So he increased that line item.
Okay.
Capital outlay for them.
Yeah.
So as y'all know, he requested a couple of months ago to go on and order 3 new patrol vehicles. So I put those vehicles in as a lease.
Okay.
So that just increased the lease line item.
All right.
He also, per y'all's request, got a quote for pole cameras. The cost of one pole camera is $6,960. It would be a little bit more than that because he has to, let me look at that quote. He's got to get the technology for the internet. I can't remember what it's called, but he's got to get one more something that they don't provide for the camera, but it's a minimal cost for that. But this is just the camera, you know, the pole camera. I don't know if you want me to put.
This the station?
Is that
Leave it at
stationary or is
one.
that the,
Or one that's traveling?
So the way that Dudley described it to me, and y'all can discuss it with him to be sure, it does attach to a pole, but it's temporary. You attach it to a pole and he's taught to energy, like you plug it in or what, you attach it, but then you can move it because it's temporary.
okay, that's,
So you attach it
That's
to
what it
a
needs.
pole and then you can move it to another pole.
Yeah, he wanted to do this so these people wouldn't get accustomed to a camera being in the same place all the time.
Right.
I think that's the only thing that really makes sense is to move it around as we know we need it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No.
Yeah, and he may talk to us this afternoon, Ted, about moving some stuff like
Right.
you requested.
Right. That's something very much so needed, that portable.
Yeah, yeah. When we meet with him, when I talked to him about the poll camera, he kind of talked about your situation a little bit.
Right, okay.
So with this also, I guess we can talk with him about that. Because if we're moving it, then there'll be a cost for moving it from one area to the next.
He's gonna do the moving.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's on us.
gotcha. Okay. I was wondering, would there be an additional cost?
Yeah, no, that's what he wants. He wants one that once they get the technology in place, his own people can move it around.
Right.
Okay, wonderful.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
Right.
did y'all want just to look at one camera? Were y'all thinking about two cameras?
Well, I mean, let's hear what he's got to say. I mean,
Okay.
Right.
All right,
fire department.
right. Same thing, their utilities are up. So I bumped that line item for that. Fire prevention.
What does that cover?
They do fire prevention each week, each October.
All schools.
Right. And
Yeah.
it looks like he increased the request on that line item. I'm sure just he buys things to take to the schools to give to the handout to the kids. I'm sure that line item has not been increased in years. I'm sure just the cost of acquiring those promotional items has probably just gone up.
That's great. Thank you.
Mhm. I believe he told us, Mayor, in the department head meeting, didn't he tell us how many kids? 1,500 or?
Yeah, it's a huge number, and it really makes an impression on those kids. I know us
He
as
said,
grandchildren.
I think he told us in his report he sees 1,500 kids.
Something
That's
like
correct,
that.
I think.
That's great.
Right. So let's see. Supplies is up 2%.
Yeah, I mean, their whole budget went down.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So you good here?
Yeah, go to Public Works. We know we got problems there.
All right.
It ain't as bad as I thought overall.
He didn't request, I think the cemetery, they requested, a dump trailer. So, and that's the only
Okay.
thing there.
And the groundskeeper went down.
Groundskeeper went down. And there was no request for capital items in groundskeeper. Street department, they had some requests. Let's see. That's a carry forward. That's not this. The mower is this year. They requested a mower, a portable generator, and a metal storage container that they want to keep stores, like a locking storage container to keep small tools in.
Okay. Yeah, I'm impressed that we hadn't had a request for 10 mowers.
Yeah, that's the only mower this year. Street department. That was it.
That's great.
I know. Well, somebody's taking care of them. That's a good sign.
Yeah, one thing to remember is that payroll is down there about 13 short, and also that we have got those several acres out there by the armory that will be looked at for cemetery space down the road.
In the shop department, they requested a water cooled fan for the shop. Let's look at supplies.
Okay.
See. Increase in computer program maintenance. They need to get updates on the scanner, their diagnostic scanner in the shop. And that's where you're there, and motor vehicle repairs.
Yeah.
It's your increase there. Small tools. They requested a cordless impact, and they already had a budget, so that was a $1,400 increase to cordless, to small tools. And so that's all for the shop. And then that's it, because mosquito control is in sanitation now. Real quick,
so say that $700,000 increase is just spread out in a lot of little pieces.
it is. So we didn't talk about this because the airport's overall budget was so good. But he put in a request for Clint has upgraded his camera system in the terminal, and he put in a request for phase 2 of that camera project. He's wanting to put some outdoor cameras, I believe, near the gates, either on the gates or by the gates. And that capital request is right here. It's $13,000 for some equipment, but it's phase 2 of his camera project that he's doing.
So has that already been budgeted?
It's in the budget but his overall, we didn't even look at his budget because his overall budget was so good.
Okay,
And
gotcha.
I remembered that request was in there, so I wanted to make y'all aware of it.
So why is it in this year then if it was already in last year?
He did 2 phases. The first
Oh.
phase was in the terminal,
Okay.
and he didn't have money in the budget for the second phase, which was the outdoor cameras.
Sure.
So that's the budget request. He had money in this year's budget for the first phase, which was in the terminal.
Okay.
All right.
Well, Michelle,
So that's already included in it.
I'm just sitting here trying to figure out where we're going to take out $700,000. Because unless I missed something, I didn't see any major increases other than utilities and insurance.
Not a lot to do about that.
And
No.
computer maintenance.
Well, and that was
Nothing we can do about that either.
right. There
Wow.
weren't any big hits.
Because if you approve it like this, then 3 years from now, you pretty much wipe out your surplus.
Right.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll have to come back to it. Okay. So what have we left off? Have we left off anything?
Let's see. We've done general, done airport. We did ARPA.
Get that too.
Animal shelter.
I'm a shelter.
I think we did, yeah.
Mhm.
Yep,
We did.
I think we've looked at everything.
we have, yeah. I don't see
Okay.
anything we missed. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we just gotta,
That's trim.
we're gonna have to scrutinize the general fund a little bit more. Jeez.
Because you have to keep in mind also, another reason why to scrutinize is because does not take into consideration any payroll changes.
Exactly.
And the bulk of your salaries are in this budget. In the general fund.
Okay. All right. Very good job, Michelle.
Yeah, Michelle.
I know we're ending a little before lunch, but I know everybody's got business to take care of. We start with Josh at 1 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
Okay. When do we end today with interviews?
Let me pull that schedule. Ashley, do you have that email pulled up?
Yes, I have it right here. Dudley is the last one starting at 3.
Okay. So when we get through with Dudley, we'll go back and look at the general fund stuff.
There you go.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
All right, we're good till 1 o'clock then. We'll.
yeah, we're good. And Michelle and Ashley, y'all did a great job.
Sure
Thank
did.
you. Thank you.
Okay, we'll reconvene at 1